Aries, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late February 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Aries collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for these beautiful Aries out there, the Rams, my beautiful collective in late February? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Aries in late February. We're breezing on in to Pisces season, which means Aries season, the true new year, is almost upon us, my friends. It's almost birthday season. Well, let's get this card out nice and quick. All right, this energy to me, I've been seeing it show up sprinkled throughout the zodiac, and I do like it. There's a couple of very distinct energies here. One seems to be pretty chill, calm, and laying low. So for a lot of Aries, I know we get the reputation for being very energetic, but this one to me is like, I'm in my own lane. I'm doing my own thing. That's initially what pops up. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the February subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So as you can see, we have this lovely lady. She's kind of walking through a pond, surrounded by all the swans, and she is kind of dressed up like one, so it looks like a costume. So when I see this, I think of somebody blending in, laying low, just doing their own thing. So for a lot of Aries, that could be advice from spirit, where it's like, all right, chill for a second. For some Aries, this could just be the mode you're in, just doing your own thing, staying in your lane, minding your business. And this card can show up sometimes where a spirit could be saying, all right, Aries, don't get pulled into other people's stuff. So watch out for that. Now, there could also be someone you're connected to that could be laying low. To me, this is a peaceful type of energy where it's like, oh, I don't want to step on anyone's toes. So I'd say that's good. It's not like I'm seeing a lot of conflict with this card. Now, the other message I can pull from this, especially with the aesthetics and the costume that this person is wearing, you might be changing something about your look, or now could be a good time. So whether it's like physical fitness and changing your body, could be changing your hair, wardrobe, whatever it might be. This is really good for aesthetics. So I like it. It looks good. It's attractive. So we're just going to put her down right now. She's just doing her own thing. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Aries gang. What do we got in late February? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. There was a little bit of energetic tension, and the reading was titled A Frustrating Situation. And part of it to me felt a little bored. Part of it just felt like very frustrating. So hopefully you haven't been going through anything too difficult. But just know that energy could bleed over a little bit. So watch out for anything that kind of gets you either frustrated or you feel is like dry. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for Aries gang. What do we got in late February for my good friends? Let's see what we got. Thank you. Cool. Page of Cups. That's a pretty good start. So let's get this swan lady away. Pages, they represent other people. It's very communicative. I usually like the page. I feel like it's a good energy to play around with. Let's get a couple more. Okay, cool. Double pages. Lots of page action here. We got the Watcher of the Tarot deck right there. We got the Page of Swords. So whether this is a lot of people or a lot of energies, I mean, it feels a little magnetic to me. Let's get one more. Okay, I mean, I'll take this. So we got the Wheel of Fortune right here on the back end, and that is an energy that I like in general, but it works really, really well with Aries energy, just the way that it moves. So let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, I was making a little commentary as all the cards were coming out. I love to look at the elements because I feel like it informs us of the areas of life that could be important and how the energy is flowing. And we have a pretty good mixture. We have a lot of internal energy here with the water and air. Now, when it comes to the wheel, I don't give it one of our classic 4 elements because it could be multiple zodiac signs. This to me is just a major arcana, very powerful energy. But the wheel in and of itself, Jupiter, if I were to give it like any planet or like elemental type of vibe, it's like very much connected to Jupiter for me. But position number one, like again, these are very internal energies. We have the Page of Cups and water. Water represents the emotional realm, the emotional world. So either whether it's things or people that we care deeply for, maybe our emotions are a little up and down when there's a lot of water. There's an intensity here, and water energy is not bad. No energy is ever 100% bad. It's just there's a lot of depth. Now this water energy is fantastic for the creative juices, right? Like, so whether it's art, whether it's writing, creative expression, or even verbal expression, like both of these cards are great, and the elements are great for verbal expression. Now, the downside with water energy, and of course, water does tie into interpersonal relationships and love. The downside to it, it's always ebbing and flowing, right? It's always coming and going and back and forth, such is life. But in the center, we have a bit of a different vibe. We have the swords, and that's more of a logical, pragmatic type of vibe. So it's like we have the heart, we have the mind, we have the feelings, we have the logic. And that could be a good mix unless they're battling each other. But the air element, strategic, plan based, very smart and intelligent, and could deal strongly with communication. Then the downside with air energy, it could be a little detached, it could be a little flighty, it could be a little cold. And then, of course, we have the powerful major arcana. So we have an interesting mix, big focus on the inward. Let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, the Page of Cups. Now, there's going to be a lot of similarities with these two cards. Page of Cups could be a water sign you're connected to, unless you have water placement. So think Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Even if that's not the case, pages are very similar to aces, where they're youthful, they're new, they're fresh. So it's great for new energies. It can be very reinvigorating. So I do like all pages. I mean, there's just something youthful to it. And like one of the downsides, it could be like a little naive, but we're not going to fully go that route just yet. The Page of Cups, especially with what we know about the element itself, as with all pages, is a student or a messenger. So could this be a message, a talk, a conversation, one letting their emotions out? Absolutely, when this card is here, whether that's something you need to do or something someone else does, it's like there's some sort of emotional spillage when this card shows up. Now, what might be the downside of this Page of Cups? It's great for talks and messages. The downside, sometimes it could be a little shy. So there could be a situation. And again, that's not usual classic Aries energy. Like normally if an Aries has something to say, they're going to say it, they're going to speak it. This Page of Cups in its rougher form could suppress and push down and be a little shy, a little bashful. So we're going to have to see what's up. Now, moving to the middle, we have a lot of similarities because we have the Page of Swords, and we're going to get this Page of Cups tucked right back in where it belongs by this amethyst crystal. And same as the other one, it could be a student, it could be a messenger. This is more air sign centric, so it could tie into Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. If we're not talking about specific signs, the Page of Swords to me is a little more defensive, whereas this page is much more open, much more flowing, letting things do what they do. The Page of Swords kind of has its guard up. So it's like we have one step forward and, oh, wait, hold on. That's kind of the vibe I'm picking up here. So, of course, still the same with the communication and messages, but it's being very cautious. Now, as I mentioned when it popped out, a lot of people call this the Watcher of the Tarot deck. So, again, you might be getting a little more attention than you normally do. There could be a lot of energies coming your way. You might have some eyes on you. Maybe there's something you're watching. Maybe this is advice from Spirit saying, like, all right, Aries, keep your eye on this one, whatever it might be. The downside, if we're not getting the watching and planning going on here, the Page of Swords could be a little too defensive, a little too standoffish and combative. So it's like a total opposite of what we have here with the Page of Cups. Like the Page of Cups is like much more open, but the Page of Swords is definitely, it has its guard up. Now, moving to the back end, I love that we have this. We got the Wheel of Fortune. Beautiful. I always say this is my four-leaf clover, the tarot deck. So it's always a good luck charm. So you might catch a little break of good luck. Something might swing in your way. That's a beautiful thing. When I said it, it reminds me of Jupiter energy. It's expansive. It's very angelic energy. So it's always great to see it, even in reverse. But big picture, this can be a karmic type of card because you see the wheel, it's always turning. It could speak about change. It could speak about karmic energy, the cycles of life. The only downside to the Wheel of Fortune is the fact that it moves very, very quick, very, very sudden, like almost surprising or explosive. So we'll see, because like we have this energy that's kind of back and forth, and then we have the wheel that, boom, it just kicks in. It could be a little wild, but as I mentioned, it doesn't really make me nervous for an Aries reading, because Aries energy, from my perspective, is pretty adaptable to like fast, sudden spurts of energy. So there could be something coming in quick. I want to dive deeper on all of it, Aries. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on Page of Cups. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Aries, you can drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Page of Cups time. Why is this page here, please? Cool. So many people. All right, so we have the Knight of Pentacles, where to me it's like I plan on addressing this. I plan on talking about it, but there could be a little bit of an energy that kicks the can down the road. So like keep that in mind, whether that's you or someone else's energy showing up. It's like I plan to do this, but is it the right time? I want to do this. There's like something here about the timing of something that I'm seeing. So whether this is a talk, conversation, message that you want to send, or someone else wants to, there's like this little pushing or delaying of it for some reason, where it's like, yeah, I'll touch base with that. I'll speak to that person or speak about that topic, but maybe not yet. It's like giving me that kind of energy. So we do want to see what's up when we get to this page. Now, the Knight of Pentacles, out of all the knights, is the slowest one. And I always say they're very similar to pages, earth signs. So we have 3/4 of the whole zodiac showing up here. And people all over the place. So just know whether these are people that are coming towards you, or to me, I feel like for a lot of Aries, there might be a lot more people around you or coming towards you in this time. There's a certain magnetism. So I'm already getting that like, all right, brace yourself, Aries. Here it comes. Here they come type of vibe. But this one is very slow. It's very meticulous. It wants to do things perfect. So to me, it's like, yeah, there's this talk I want to have. There's this message I want to send, but I want to be very specific with how I do it. I want to be very certain about certain things. So there's like this odd little pacing. So just watch out for that. Even if we're not talking about a conversation, there could be something that's energetically in the works, but it's like, maybe not quite yet. I don't know why the delay. Usually with Aries energy, being an Aries myself, as a lot of you already know, when we want to do something, we do it. When we get a great idea or we have that fire burning, yeah, let's do it. Let's make it happen. This one is a little more planned out. So if it's action, it's slow and methodical. If it's a conversation, it wants to be had, but will happen further down the line. Let's move over. Let's see what's up with this Page of Swords. Let's see what's up with that page, because that could give us a little more insight. I mean, unless these are all different people showing up here. So why is the Page of Swords here? Thank you. This energy feels like it's bracing for something. Well, that's weird. Okay, so we have the Seven of Wands in the upright underneath this Page of Swords. Where it's like, all right, here it comes. It's giving me that here it comes type of energy, because it's like I'm ready for it. I'm as ready as I'll ever be. I'm not sure who or what this could be, but the Seven of Wands doesn't have to be bad. It is a very determined card. So like if there is a situation or an issue that you're dealing with, there is this strong determination to get to the bottom of it, which I like. I appreciate that. Where it's like, yeah, I just don't want to leave this hanging. I'm going to get to the bottom of this. So I am, again, getting this energy of like a very important or serious talk that needs to be had, where like this one's kind of delaying the inevitable. This one is like, no, now. We're going to talk about it now, even if it's not like an easy conversation to have. So we do have, so watch out for pressures around communication. There could be a very serious or important talk coming in. But aside from that, the Seven of Wands in its positive sense is very determined, right? Me against the world. I got this. It doesn't matter how hard it is. When I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. So I'm not sure if you have your mind set on something. That could very much be the case. The only downside to this is it could sometimes be combative and confrontational. So like when I see the Page of Swords with its guard up and the Seven of Wands, it's like, okay, I'm bracing myself for it. So I still think a lot of Aries could be extra magnetic in this time, where it's like this person's popping up and that person's popping up and like here that comes, because I feel like there's a lot of stuff approaching me right now. Maybe that's why I'm getting this like bracing myself for some reason. Okay, so if that's not you, it could be someone else where it's like, okay, I'm as ready as I'll ever be. So very intriguing how all this energy shows up. These are two totally different energies. Let's go in on the wheel. We'll see what that has, then we'll do a quick recap before we get into the shadow. So why is the Wheel of Fortune here? for my beautiful Aries friends. How do we got the wheel? Okay. I mean, this is really nice. So we have Lady Justice in the upright underneath this Wheel of Fortune. I do feel for a lot of Aries, if you've been having like a run of bad luck for whatever reason, or things just haven't been moving to your liking or going your way, this is the complete and total opposite, where it's like, well, wow, that went way better than I expected. So to me, the first thing I'm picking up here on the back end is like an unexpected win or a surprising win. Even if you're not expecting the best possible outcome, this is like, nope, picture perfect. Everything goes smooth, smoother than expected. So there could be a variety of different unexpected or surprising wins or victories coming in, whether it's monetary, whether it comes to people, whether it comes to communication. Lady Justice is fair and balanced, right? Like she does connect to Libra energy. So if you're connected to Libra, maybe that's it. She can also deal with like work, documents, paperwork. So just always know if you're putting your signature on something in this time, just be very careful. Read it twice or three times when she's here. But I think for a lot of Aries, you could catch like a turn of really good luck. Okay? Whether you see it coming or whether you don't. And a lot of you, this energy does seem to just come out of the blue, where either it goes better than expected or it's just completely out of nowhere. So I'll take that. Now, if we add one more little message here, Lady Justice is also the biggest karmic card right underneath. This Wheel of Fortune are both heavily, heavily karmic, where it's like the karmic shift of energy is going to do what it's going to do anyway. So for a lot of Aries, you could be going through a big time of transformation, even if you don't realize you are. Because this to me feels like karmic change, where it's a universal and it's big picture. So let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow. I like the energy for the most part this week. Except, this one's a little standoffish, but if you kindly look in the box, we got a lot of people, lots of majors. Position number one, we have the Page of Cups with the Knight of Pentacles and the upright. This to me did feel like kicking the can down the road with something. So whether it's a talk that you want to have or something that you want to address, it's like, yeah, I'll get around to it. Or someone's delaying the inevitable in one way or another. Doesn't necessarily feel bad to me. It's like, yeah, we'll talk about this when I'm ready. It's like one of those. So just watch out for stuff like that. Moving to the middle, we have the Page of Swords with the Seven of Wands in the upright, where either that's an energy that's like bracing itself. That's why I said there could be a lot of energy coming your way, because it's like, all right, well, here it comes, here they come. Like the energy's coming my way, and it's like I'm standing firm. But if we're not bracing ourselves for something, it is a vibe where it's like, no, we will discuss this now. So that could be an important talk, a serious talk, where someone just wants to do it. They want to talk about it. On the back end, we have the Wheel of Fortune, Lady Justice in the upright, chef's kiss energy right there. This could be a surprising, unexpected winner victory of any variety, and luck could really play in your favor for a variety of different things in this time. So very much claimable. It could also represent a powerful karmic change, like whether you realize it or not. So you might be in a deep time of transformation. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got for Aries? And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. And if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this shadow card out. What do we got? Thank you. Cool. Three of Wands does tie heavily into manifestation and waiting. So I'm not sure if some areas you might feel like you're waiting or wasting your time with something when this Three of Wands is here. Now, there are good aspects to it. This also gives me that energy that we picked up here in the center. In the positive sense, this is tied to manifestation and things coming to you. So as I mentioned, there is this magnetic energy that seems to be like bracing itself. And this card does fit that in its most positive sense. But in the shadow side of the Three of Wands, this is an energy that's not really doing much. That feels like it's just waiting. So watch out for feelings like, am I wasting my time? Am I waiting for nothing? Like those things could pop up in this time. I don't think you are. There is an energy coming in very clearly within the reading itself. But the Three of Wands, and I know this is a common energy for us Aries, where if we don't feel like we're moving forward, we feel like we're moving backwards. So watch out for those types of feelings where it's like, if I'm not making progress, what am I even doing? It's very results driven. So we're just going to leave it right there, Aries. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details. The February subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, you could book a personal reading with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com, so we could have a little chat. My February calendar is up, so go check that out. They usually go pretty quick. But for the February subscriber surprise, we're doing a nice different style this month. We're doing a winner's choice. So the winners, which will be 3, will have their choice of the Tarot of the Owls, the Gilded Tarot Royale, or a handmade crystal pendant from my shop, mastermetaphysics.com, once again. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the cards we saw in this week's reading, which one caught your attention the most, whether it really inspired you or hit you right in your feelings. Anyone that stood out to you, and you'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.